Hi, my name is Kiara. I'm the owner of Indwell Weddings. We are a husband and wife team of photographers and videographers focused on elopement and intimate weddings. We are based in California and Oregon, and we've been using Bloom now for 3 years. I only use Bloom. It is my favorite software for workflow specifically. So I'm going to show you my features and what I like to use. So as you'll see here on the home page, we have a lot of transaction information. I use this mostly for workflow, not for lead management or earnings. But I do know, and I have used in the past, the lead generation pop-up for my website. Just with the structure of our website, it makes it way easier for us to have all of that independent. But this is my favorite part about Bloom is the project management. So as you'll see, I have 2021 weddings in here. I have 2022 weddings. I have 2023 weddings. And I also have additional sessions that I have in here. So this really helps me when I'm shooting on average 25 weddings a year. It really helps me streamline and know where I'm at with each wedding, with each client. So at the moment, I'm currently closing out all of my 2021 clients. I'm going through and I am preparing their keepsake box, doing their thank you cards. And when I'm done with those, I will do a blog post that will go on my website, and then I will archive the project. And that's how I know that I'm finished with my project. As you'll see here with 2022 weddings, it's a little bit easier for me to understand who has scheduled an engagement session. So I utilize this. I click started when a client has scheduled an engagement session with me. And then when it's finished, I click done. I do usually, I haven't currently updated when invoices are paid or retainers are made, but it's been a very busy year. So what I like to do usually once a month is go in and just kind of record all of the financial information. I take payments separately to Bloom, but I have processed through Bloom in the past, and I do really love the fast speed of access from my funds to my bank, access of my funds from my bank account. So this is also really helpful if I show you kind of what the inside of an invoice looks like. So I put in all of the information for my client, their date, what package they are using. So I'll go in and show you a little bit more about this in a minute. And then as well as the retainers and when their final payments are due. I used to use the image gallery here. I do that separately. Again, I use Bloom mostly for managing my projects, and as well as contracts I do exclusively through Bloom. Let me just show you a little bit more about messaging is also really helpful. So sometimes I will have clients who will send me information directly through the Bloom messages. My calendar is synced up to my personal calendar here. So as you'll see, I have all of my Bloom projects synchronized to my Google Calendar, which is where I keep my personal and my work information synchronized and up to date. So this is super helpful. It prevents me from double booking work and also helps me to know when I have availability. I can access this at any point on my laptop or my phone, and through the Bloom app that I also have on my phone. Contacts and website I don't utilize a lot, but it is very helpful to have all of the information of all of my previous clients. So you see there's 187 contacts here. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when I go in and I create a project, which I do anytime I have an email from a client who we have a video call and then they want to book with us. This is my process. So I go in to create a project. I select the specialty, which is wedding. I then go in and choose what workflow I'm going to add it into. So at the moment, I'm booking pretty heavily for 2022. So I'm just going to say Indwell Wedding. I'm going to put in contact information. So I'm going to put myself, and I can synchronize that. If it's a new client, a new contact, then I'll just go in and add that in custom. I'm going to select the date of the wedding. So I'm just going to select my birthday to show you. We're going to choose this approximate start time. This is a little bit more of a tentative thing that isn't super essential since timelines and things get finalized later on. I'm going to just type in some information about this. And then tags is a new feature, which I really appreciate, but this can be helpful just if you're like specifically doing video or photo, or if you're making a note of it being like a multi-day event, tags can be super helpful. And then I do have my contracts integrated through Bloom. So I just easily go ahead and I click on my current contract. And then whenever I need to make adjustments to that contract, I'll go into the settings and make that adjustment. And then I'm going to click next. This is going to give me access to the invoice, and I send this to my clients with payment information on how to pay us. So let's say we're going to do collection 3 for 2022. This is an 8-hour package. I can go in here and change this if I need to. My business is based in Oregon, so I do not have to pay sales tax on this. It's also a service, so thankfully I don't have to. I can make a note in here. Usually I will send a information here on how to make payment. So whether that's ACH, or if I do a separate invoice, which I usually do for my software for accounting is separate. So that's how I invoice. And then you can select retainer, which I've done in the past. It's very helpful. You can just select the amount for the retainer, the final due date, and then if it's going to manually or automatically charge, which is also very helpful. Specifically if you're working with commercial clients, I always ask for automatic charge method, just because it can be very hard sometimes to get through the ranks of people in a corporate setting to get invoices paid. So it's really easy to set that up in the beginning. I go ahead and I create, and then when I get the link for this, I copy that and I will go ahead in an email and send that link along with any other information on how to pay the retainer, information on how to schedule an engagement session, and all of that information. So this is super helpful. And then I can go back in later and I can see the invoice and the package that is in my workflow. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I am not this is not an actual event for me, but it is just really nice to be able to, put everything in here. And a lot of software I have used has a workflow that tells you kind of more of a categorized section. So it'll say lead to conversion to, you can customize it to whatever. So engagement session to edited to referred, all of this kind of stuff. And those are great, but they just tell you the numbers of people in that workflow. They don't quite give you the visual workflow of Bloom. And with a new user interface, I feel like it's also so much more easy to understand and see everything. Color is super helpful for me. I am a visual person. I am a photographer. So having the visual information in colors of color blocks for all of my workflow is very, very handy. It's also really great that there is a streamlined way to, put everything a little bit more away. So sometimes if I'm just scrolling and I need to find something, it's right there, or I can, kind of open things up a little bit more in depth. It's just a really great system. Highly recommend. Again, I've been using Bloom for several years now, and I really cannot see myself using any other software. I would highly recommend, especially if you were a newer photographer who is trying to, make this a more professional career for yourself. Having a very structured workflow is essential to organization, making sure you're not double booking. A lot of the things that can be easy errors in the beginning are very easily avoidable on Bloom. And then also if you're an experienced professional, you've been doing this for a long time and you need a system that feels more robust and is a little bit easier to see everything that you have going on. Again, I really love the synchronization to my calendar, which is very, very handy. So Bloom is honestly, I would say, for whatever specialty of work that you do. I also just recently started offering flowers, and so I now have a flower invoice and package and contract system integrated into Bloom. So it isn't just exclusively for photography. I use it for video and for flowers, and it just honestly ticks all the boxes. So highly recommend. I love it. And I am very thankful to have a software like this that helps me with my business. So thanks, Bloom.